One of the things that I hate about modern politics is that image seems to matter a little bit more than substance. I mean, you can probably tell that from looking at my shirt and the not very matching collar. I don't feel like I'm the kind of person that needs to get a smiling photo of myself next to every single dignitary that I've just met, just so that I can stick it up on social media and do some form of shameless self-promotion and make myself feel somehow important by association. In fact, quite frankly, it annoys my staff that I seem to care more about what I actually do than cultivating an image of myself. Because to me, politics should be about belief. It should be about what you want for the country. It should be about what's right for Britain's future. It should be that image is a distant afterthought. But having said that, there are some images that really are important. Iconic images that define a struggle, that define a generation. If you think of the Vietnam War, for example, most people would instantly recognise that tragic photo of the young girl badly burned, running away screaming from a napalm attack. We might remember the sight of Ground Zero after the 9/11 attacks, or the wheelbarrow full of money in the 1930s in the lead up to World War II. Or in World War II itself, we might remember the Churchill V sign. All of these images, they symbolise something bigger. They sum up 1,000 words in a way that only a picture can. So, in today's news, we hear that Germany is being asked to extradite Carles Puigdemont to Spain, and of course this is something which has been going on for a while. He was arrested whilst coming back to Belgium from Finland a few days ago. So we've known that this is sort of going to come to a head, that there's going to be this court case and the decision. And actually one of the problems with the European arrest warrant itself is that it leaves very, very little power for national governments to decide on an extradition case. They only have to really satisfy themselves that the arrest warrant is valid. They don't have to satisfy themselves about anything to do really with the facts of a case. So it means that somebody who's accused of a crime abroad can have all sorts of problems. So we had the British citizens who were diving in Greece, and they fell foul of Greek law purely by accident, and found that there was a lengthy legal battle where Greece tried to get them extradited. And all of these things are very, very difficult to stop with the European arrest warrant. Of course you want to have an extradition treaty with other countries, ways for genuine criminals to be able to be sent to face justice. And that is something that is appropriate to happen between two countries. But the European arrest warrant doesn't really provide that balance between a government's responsibility to protect its own citizens and a government's responsibility to ensure that criminals face justice. So the European arrest warrant in itself, in my view, is a bad thing. But let's take a look at Catalonia. Let's think about what's actually going on when Germany is being asked to send Puigdemont back to Spain to face trial. So Puigdemont, as we all know, is the person who was elected as the president of the region of Catalonia in northern Spain. And Catalonia has had a potted history, potted relationship with Spain over many, many years, going back for centuries, back from the time when Spain was united under the Reyes Católicos, the Catholic monarchs, Fernando and Isabella, all the way back. And of course, when you look at that, that ties back into British political history, with British history in general, with Catherine of Aragon and Henry VIII and so on. So Spain was united centuries ago, but the Catalan people retained a separate identity, a separate culture, a separate language, and throughout the next few hundreds of years, Spain granted the Catalans quite a lot of autonomy within the Kingdom of Aragon, and then that autonomy was taken away after the Catalans supported supposedly the wrong side in the War of Spanish Succession, and it all carried on from there to the dictatorship dictatorship of General Franco, where the Catalan people and language were suppressed by Franco. And then when Spain became a democracy again, Catalonia got some independence, some autonomy, but not anything like the full independence that many seek. And so Puigdemont was elected on a ticket of getting Catalonia to become an independent nation. And although he was elected on that ticket, the Catalan region is very much divided. There's people who want to stay in Spain, there's people who want to leave, and the referendum was held where people voted in Catalonia to leave Spain, but the side that wanted to stay within Spain boycotted it. So the Spanish government took over, arrested a lot of people involved in holding the referendum, and forced new elections, at which point the people promptly re-elected Puigdemont's party. But the trouble is that the Spanish government wanted to arrest Puigdemont. So the Spanish government wants to arrest Carles Puigdemont, so he fled to Belgium, and Belgium refused to extradite him, and for technical reasons the European arrest warrant didn't work in Belgium, because basically what he was being accused of wasn't actually a crime in Belgium, and that's one of the few grounds on which you can refuse a European arrest warrant. So Puigdemont is there in Belgium. He travels to Finland later after the arrest warrant is clearly not going to be served, and whilst he's traveled to Finland, Spain reissues that same arrest warrant. And when Spain reissues the arrest warrant, presumably, we don't know, but presumably Spanish secret services know where he is, spot him crossing the border into Germany, ask Germany to arrest him. Now, here's where the problem comes in, because asking Germany to extradite the elected leader of the Catalan Republic back to Spain is something where there are seriously, seriously bad optics, as bad as it possibly could be for Spain. They really haven't thought this one through. Because if you go back to 1940, after the Spanish Civil War, during World War II, Hitler invaded France. When Hitler invaded France, one of the things that they did was they arrested Lluís Companys, who was the Catalan president at the time, and who had been exiled to France after the Spanish Civil War. They sent him back to Spain to face trial, where Franco promptly had him executed. So the last time that Germany was asked to extradite a Catalan president to Spain was in 1940, when they were then sent to the firing squad. His last words, after refusing the traditional blindfold, were "per Catalunya," for Catalonia, which really does not help the Spanish case when they're being associated with something like this. So whilst many Spanish people would see Companys as a traitor, to many Catalans he was a hero. So when you look at what's happening today, this is not entirely a situation where the Spanish government, that's already been accused of heavy-handedness left, right and centre, this is not going to help them win over anyone who is wavering or undecided in Catalonia. Now, to me, there is a huge fault with the Spanish government here. What did I say at the start? Image is everything in politics. I've talked here for far too long, probably, because I actually care about this. You know, I studied Catalonia when I was at sixth form. I actually care about these things. But in modern politics, image matters more than substance. What the Spanish government is doing by having Puigdemont arrested in Germany and asking for his extradition is sending out completely the wrong message to the Catalan people, and what it is doing, quite frankly, is not in the interests of Spain itself. And I just worry that the situation we find ourselves in, with mass demonstrations on the streets of Barcelona, on the streets of Girona and everywhere else, this isn't getting any better because of an intransigent Spanish government that really isn't thinking things through.